na urithi wetu.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's Prime Edition. My name is Wairimu Njenga, and tonight President William Ruto bags a number of deals. That is a story that we'll be bringing you, including business and sports later with Karen Kibet. At first, we take a look at the highlights. A bag of goodies. President William Ruto nets over 350 billion shillings in financial deals in his Japan tour. It was an aided escape. Police officers arrested after fugitive Kevin Kinyanjui slips from police cells. Learning from Nairobi, Mombasa County government cracks the whip on illegal gas refilling plants. On YouTube, and also you can engage with us on Facebook at KBC Channel 1, on Twitter as well at KBC Channel 1, and you can tag me at Carol W. Njenga. Now we kick off this broadcast with President William Ruto has signed a 3 billion shillings memorandum of understanding with Japan to support a laboratory upgrade program at the Kenya Medical and Research Institute. The funds will be used to aid in the construction of a high-level facility for training scientists in the research and development of biotechnology products. The president is in Japan for a state visit.
The KRA facility will contain a high biocontainment laboratories with state-of-the-art equipment for use in disease surveillance, pathogen identification, drugs, vaccines, and diagnostic kits design, discovery, and development. By designing, developing, and producing local drugs, vaccines, and diagnostics, especially those point-of-care diagnostics, KRA will be able to support accelerated implementation of universal healthcare. The facility will be critical in the attainment of the government's universal health coverage. KRA's Acting Director General and Chief Executive Officer Professor Elijah Songok lauded the signing of the MOU, citing that the investments cement KRA's forefront position in leading other Kenyan and regional institutions in enhancing research and development. The lessons from the COVID-19 pandemic have accelerated Kenya's effort to build local capacity to combat emerging epidemics and biothreat pathogens, including capabilities to develop novel and effective medical products for the response. The president also inspected a guard of honor when he paid a courtesy call on Prime Minister Fumio Kishida.
Now to the corridors of justice for police officers who were manning Muthaiga Police Station Wednesday when Kevin Adams Kinyanjui, a fugitive wanted in the United States for murder, will be arraigned at Milimani's Magistrate Court tomorrow. The court wants to understand how the man who was to face a murder trial in the U.S. for allegedly killing his girlfriend escaped from custody. The court had allowed DCI officers on 31st January 2024 to hold the suspect for 30 days pending extradition proceedings.
A search for Kevin Adams Kinyanjui has begun with questions surrounding the escape of the murder suspect from Muthaiga police station in Nairobi. Adams was to be deported to face murder trial. Is accused of brutally killing his girlfriend in the US before fleeing to Kenya. Among those to be presented in court Friday include Kevin's advocate, John Mainandegwa, who had come to visit him Wednesday before he escaped. Detectives had been granted 30 days to detain him pending extradition proceedings, and the matter was to be mentioned on 4th March 2024 to confirm the progress. Elsewhere, High Court Judge John Chigiti assaulted the Law Society of Kenya elections for the position of Mayor Representative to the Judicial Service Commission. The election was scheduled to be held on 29 February 2024.
Rule 87 under Part 9 inasema you only need an advocate with a practicing certificate. Lakini Rule 29 ile ya council inasema ule anakunominate lazima akue na the same qualifications like you. That means he must be above 15 years. That is a strange introduction to the KCSE elections. It has never been like that.
The judge satisfied as urgent the suit filed by lawyer Ishmael Nyaribo, who said the process lacked clarity.
We will go into campaigns, and I am certain or sure that these elections for KCSE will be held somewhere in March or April.
The move comes as High Court Judge Justice David Majanja also directed lawyer Shadi Wamboi's case be heard next week. Wamboi was also blocked on January 18th by the Secretary of the Elections from contesting in the elections. With the LSK election now being marred by a number of litigations, it is a wait-and-see situation to see how the body of learned friends navigates itself. Ruth Wamboi reporting for Prime Edition from Milimani Law Courts.
Thank you, Ruth Wamboi, for that update. Now, the Kenya Universities and Colleges Central Placement Services portal is open for placement of the 2023 KCSE class in universities, colleges and TVET institutions. Now, CAPS announced the opening of its portal on Thursday, inviting Form 4 leavers from 2000 to 2022 to also make entries. Now, the CAPS application portal shall remain open for the first round of applications until February 22nd, 2024. Here is our reporter Abdiaziz Hashim with details.
Universities and Colleges Central Placement Services KUPS is calling on the 2023 KCSE class to get acquainted with the portal following its opening for students to apply to their preferred institutions. As part of their preparation, 69 universities, including the Open University of Kenya, 3 secondary teachers training colleges TTCs, 226 public TVET colleges, and 86 Kenya Medical Training Colleges KMTC campuses have declared placement slots for the 2024-2025 placement cycle. In the 2023 KCSE examinations, a total of 201,073 candidates scored a mean grade of C+ and above, and therefore qualified for degree programs in universities. The remaining 694,231 are eligible for placement in TVET institutions, TTCs, and KMTC campuses, although students with a mean grade of up to A plane can also apply to the institutions. KUPS will roll out an awareness, sensitization, and application mobilization campaign at 262 centers throughout the country, covering 210 training institutions and 52 Huduma centers to help students select programs of their choice. Education Cabinet Secretary Ezekiel Machogu said applicants have until February 22nd to file their entries. Abdiaziz Hashim for Prime Edition.
Now, several gas refilling stations that operate without valid licenses in Mombasa County have been shut down following a crackdown conducted by a multi-agency team led by the county government. Now, most of the gas refilling plants had no genuine licenses, and operated in residential areas. The move comes barely a week after an LPG gas plant in Nairobi's Embakasi area exploded, killing 7 and injuring dozens.
Following a gas explosion that occurred in Embakasi, Nairobi last Thursday, there are so far left 7 people dead, over 200 others nursing injuries and property worth millions of shillings destroyed. Wednesday afternoon, and Mombasa County Governor, flanked by officials from the National Environment Management Authority, Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority, together with other county officials, stormed various gas filling plants across the county. The impromptu visit was to ascertain safety and whether the establishments had valid licenses of operation. Several gas filling stations fell culprit, with its operators arrested.
Funga iduka, jamaa aende, mwenyewe atakuja kuelezea ilikuwaje akaanza kuuza hizi vitu with no proper licenses.
Mombasa Governor Abdul Samad Nasir vowed that the inspection exercise will continue till all the gas filling stations that operate without licenses are closed down.
It is prudent that when these companies are going to now start supplying gas to outlets that are within residential areas, outlets that are within areas that are of high population, they need to ensure that those particular clients of theirs have 4 permits. One of them is going to be an EPRA license, that person you're supplying to actually has been identified. 2, a NEMA license. 3, a single business permit from the county government of Mombasa. And 4, a fire inspection certificate from the county government of Mombasa. We have already written to these companies that are dealing with this, and we're expecting that they will be able to abide.
Nasir warned county government officials working in cahoots with operators of illegal outlets of dire consequences.
Wale ambao kwamba wako katika security forces, na pia na wao tutawaandikia barua. Mambo ya kusema ya kuwa kuna baadhi ya maafisa wengine wa county na wa serikali kuu ya kuwa tuna mashamba hapa, yale mashamba lazima sasa hivi tukubali ya kuwa si mashamba ya mahindi, lakini ni mashamba ya mbegu ambazo kwamba haziliki. Hii mambo ya kupatiwa kitu kidogo, wache watu wafanye na mambo ambayo kwamba yataweza kuhatarisha maisha ya watu, needs to cease, ni lazima iweze kusimama.
Those arrested will be arraigned in court.
Now, the national government has handed over the Kenya National Library Services Kibra branch to the county government of Nairobi, in line with the government's agenda of strengthening the devolved units. The Nairobi Acting County Secretary, Patrick Kanalo, says the facility is an important resource to the region in knowledge harnessing, promotion of reading culture, as well as endorsement of cultural practices.
Kibra branch becomes the 61st facility by the Kenya National Library Services to be handed over to a county government. KNLS CEO Charles Nzivo says the Kibra branch will be of importance to enhance the reading culture among the youth.
We shall also continue supporting the growth and development of libraries in this country.
During the handing over ceremony, Nairobi's Acting County Secretary Patrick Kanalo said the city administration will ensure the annual budget goes towards building capacity of assets and upgrading of the facility.
We view libraries as one of the avenues within which to enhance literacy within our city, knowledge harnessing, knowledge exchange, and also even in terms of building the social resource within our city.
In places where there are no libraries, so long they have a smartphone or there is internet, they can be able to access quite a number of e-resources through the virtual library.
On his part, the Intergovernmental Relations Technical Committee Chair Kithinji Kiragu says the national government will continue facilitating a smooth transition of services to counties.
When the budgetary resources are out, we would like the national government to support them with resources to develop their libraries.
Irene Mchuma Odim, the Prime Edition.
Now, the spouse of the Deputy President, Pastor Dorcas Rigathi, has vowed to push for tougher measures that will deal with those selling illicit brews, which she termed as poison, while mourning the death of more than 10 people and others who went blind in Kirinyaga County. Pastor Dorcas said the law has been lenient on those arrested for selling or distributing illicit brew, drugs and substance abuse in the country, a situation she says must come to an end.
The sentiments of the Deputy President's spouse, Pastor Dorcas Rigathi, comes after it emerged that the owner of the bar that sold the brew in Kangai village, John Mureithi Karaya, alias California, has been arrested severally but released soon after on cash bail every time he is arraigned in court. Pastor Dorcas noted that Mount Kenya region has lost far too many men due to illicit brews, something she says cannot be tolerated.
This is a crisis that is in the country, and all of us must come together and work and make sure that we are not losing a generation, and we are also not losing fathers, and we are not losing the boy child.
Meanwhile, in West Pokot County, anti-FGM stakeholders unite to educate girls about the dangers of undergoing the cut, aiming to prevent illegal circumcisions.
Tunajaribu kusensitize watu wa eneo hili ili waweze kuelewa madhara ya tohara ya wanawake.
Elsewhere in Thika Town, Kiambu County, a standoff intensified as a private developer fenced off a 50-acre piece of land previously used as a public cemetery, sparking conflict with local sand sellers.
Ile wasiwasi hata tena tuko naye ni vile hiyo mili mahali watakichimbua mahali watapeleka. Juu ni mili mingi sana yenye miziko hapa, tena ile yenye mnasiko mkuu wengi, tena hata sana kuna wenye walisiko hapa na hao watu wa COVID.
Wengine kumezikwa watu wa COVID, walikuja wakamwagwa na serikali, wakazikwa pale pahali trakta iko. Kwa hivyo tunashindwa sasa, kwani tutafanya aje? Na njia ipi iliyo rahisi tunaweza pitia ni ipi? Jamani, tunaomba tusaidiwe.
In Nyahururu Town, Laikipia County, two groups have clashed over the ownership of a disputed 5-acre piece of public land, each holding separate demonstrations and laying claim to the piece of land.
We have been given the mandate as custodians of the public land, and we will be able to protect it from any grabbers who may try to take it for their own personal benefit at the expense of the public.
Sisi ndio tumekaa hii Laikipia na amesema kama tunataka hii shamba tuchukue ploti zetu tumpatie eka moja. Na hakuna vile itakuwa ati tutoe eka moja ndio tumpe.
Hii waja ni hawa watu na wengine ambao wako na haki ya kumiliki ardhi hapa Nyahururu.
Migori County has recently acquired a state-of-the-art HIV diagnostic machine called Molecular, poised to revolutionize the HIV battle within the county.
This is a very big project that will raise Migori County to a regional level and up to international level.
We are privileged to have a molecular machine which is going to help us monitor our children and even adults through viral load testing.
Lastly, the Nakuru County government has refuted claims of a 48% drop in revenue collection, asserting that it collected 2.8 billion shillings in the 2022-2023 financial year, compared to 3.6 billion shillings in the previous fiscal year.
Last year, end of March, the Controller of Budget reported we had only corrected 1 billion and 92 million, which we wrote to the Controller of Budget, and she replied that there was error in reporting Nakuru County revenue.
John Njenga for Prime Edition.
Now, the Council of Governors is raising concerns over the plans by the national government to send trained nurses overseas, claiming the policy must be rescinded and rethought. According to the COG, the country is still in dire need of a skilled health workforce. COG says sending nurses abroad would continue hemorrhaging the country's health sector and hence the need to rethink the plan.
The Council of Governors has raised concerns over the plan to send nurses abroad, claiming the country already has a shortage in the sector. The COG Health Committee Chairperson Muthomi Njoki says the move needs to be reconsidered.
Currently, the Kenyan public sector has a health worker crisis with only 14 health workers per 10,000 Kenyans. That ratio is something that I think is not duplicated in Western countries, but I believe it's a common scene in almost all of Africa, 14 to 10,000. So even when we talk about exporting health workers, it is a paradox because we are giving away the cream de la cream while our people are being treated either by low cadre, I don't want to say quacks, but it is definitely a crisis because we are supposed to be retaining the best while we export the surplus.
Speaking at an international workshop on developing healthcare workforce for Africa in Nairobi, Njuki said unemployed nurses should be absorbed in the national and county health facilities to complement the existing workforce.
We have to go above the Abuja declaration of spending 15% or 15% on health and spend much more. In Kenya, counties are spending over 30%. However, it is 30% of what the counties get because when we are sharing the national cake, what we call equitable share, our counties are getting 15% of what is available for the whole nation. So even if you spend 30% of that on supporting health, it is still a drop of water in the ocean. So to avoid this problem in the whole of Africa, we must deliberately spend or channel more resources to support health. And that is how we shall benefit our human resources as well.
But in a quick rejoinder, the Minister of Health says there is enough workforce in the country to work for the national government and counties and others to seek opportunities abroad.
Views I've had, you are all in
The Council of Governors is also rooting for mining to be transferred from the national to county governments, which are deeply involved in environmental conservation.
So that we see the roles of the national government, because currently the national government issues licenses and the miners, the big miners, come on the ground. The county governments are not involved, and as a result you find some of the mining activities have a major impact on our environment and on our livelihoods of our people, and that has caused a lot of disharmony and misunderstanding within the two levels of government. So it's an area we need to re-examine, and most importantly, the Mining Act needs to be re-examined, and so that we can have probably amendments and new regulations.
This process of transfer of functions was bound to have some issues, and that's why we are sitting together. But we are sitting together in the way the Constitution demands, that we are always consulting, we are always cooperating, we are always coordinating between the two levels of government. We are here.
The Council has petitioned the Intergovernmental Relations Technical Committee to address the issue as it transfers the remaining devolved functions. For Prime Edition, I'm Gladys Mongai.
Now we change gears to business, where President William Ruto has appealed to Japanese businesses to invest in Kenya's manufacturing, agriculture and technology sectors. The president, who is on a 3-day visit, noted that the partnership would yield a win-win outcome, with Japanese companies gaining access to Kenya's highly skilled workforce in need of opportunities.
Speaking during the Kenya-Japan Business Forum in Tokyo, Japan, President William Ruto said the implementation of the government's bottom-up economic transformation agenda has opened up numerous opportunities in the agriculture, manufacturing and technology value chains.
Kenya has very strong relations with Japan that support investments and business.
We've hit 114 companies. After this visit, Mr. President, I look forward to us standing here again or in Kenya and talking of double this number in terms of investments in Kenya and both in Japan.
And over the years, we've worked together in various fields, and our bilateral relationship has been, I'm happy to say, closer than ever.
The president said Kenya is poised to be the African workforce hub given its youthful population.
You're looking for talented,
innovative, skilled, professional labor force, you start in Kenya. That is where your labor force will be.
He says by investing in Kenya, Japanese companies will not only access the Kenyan market, but also the East African community and the 1.4 billion African market under the African Continental Free Trade Area.
We are investing $5 billion every year in the education, training of those young people.
President Ruto told Japanese investors to exploit Kenya's arable land, which has the potential to make a significant contribution to global food security. He urged Japanese investors to explore Kenya's potential in renewable energy, as Kenya has one of the largest renewable energy reserves in solar, wind, and geothermal.
Information, Communication and the Digital Economy Cabinet Secretary Eliud Owalo has been nominated to serve as a member of the International Telecommunication Union Global Digital Innovation Board. Digital Innovation Board members provide strategic guidance and expertise towards fostering innovation and entrepreneurship in the digital transformation agenda.
The Digital Innovation Board is one of the vehicles of the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Alliance for Digital Development under the International Telecommunication Union, aimed at accelerating the bridging of the digital innovation divide. It also provides support to International Telecommunication Union membership on their journey towards an equitable digital future for all. Information, Communication and the Digital Economy Cabinet Secretary Eliud Owalo, together with 18 other individuals, have been selected to serve as members of the Digital Innovation Board based on their solid track record of leadership in innovation, competence and experience. The appointment comes at a time when Kenya is working towards a digitized economy with the rollout of the Digital Master Plan that outlines a structured roadmap on the delivery of ICT infrastructure and services, as well as the development of ICT skills. Other board appointees include ICT ministers for Bahrain, Japan, and Nigeria.
Story takes us to a fast commercial break, but we have lined up a number of stories for you, including 2 new underseas fiber optic that are set to land at the Kenyan coast. Let's take that short break.
Across Africa, a new era has begun. Shifting our focus to a new horizon, connecting us with one purpose.
Still in AFCON, the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations concludes this weekend after 4 weeks of intense action. Hosts Ivory Coast will square it out with Nigeria in the final match this Sunday at the Olympic Stadium of Ebimpe. The 2 teams qualified for the final match after winning their matches last night. Meanwhile, EOB Bank hosted AFCON watch party for its employees at a Nairobi hotel. The party was meant to educate and inform potential clients about their services.
It's important to note that 16 out of the 24 participating teams in the AFCON are in markets where EOB Bank is present. As I indicated, we are in 33 markets across Africa, 35 actually, 2 in which we have representative offices. And it's important for us as a team, it's important for us as EOB Bank to sponsor one of the unifying events across the continent, which is football. It gives us an opportunity to showcase who we are as EOB Bank and really touch the heartbeat of Africa.
Thank you, EOB Bank. Moving on, Athletics Kenya has named a team of 30 athletes who will represent the country in the Africa Cross Country Championships set for the 25th of this month in Hammamet, Tunisia. Among the athletes named in the team are Virginia Nyambura and Sandra Felis Chebet. The named athletes are expected to report to residential training camp on the 11th of this month in Ngong.
Majority of the athletes who will compete at the Africa Cross Country Championship set for Tunisia on 25th of this month won't be able to participate at the World Cross Country Championships, which will be held on 30th of next month in Belgrade, Serbia.
We are working closely with Athletics Kenya and even the counties as well to sponsor sporting activities, because we are very passionate about sports and we feel it is one of the avenues through which we can showcase how you can nurture talent and give hope to those who might not be rich, as it were, but because of their talent they can be able to grow wealth and be able to make it in life.
Among the athletes who will represent Kenya are this year's Sirikwa Classic Cross Country Under-20 champion Matthew Kipkoech and women Under-20 silver medalist Diana Chepkemoi.
Acha niende nifanye mazoezi vizuri, ndio niende ning'ang'ane nilete goal huko kwa Tunisia.
Sasa ni kurudi kuendeleza mazoezi. Matumaini yangu naenda kuenda huko Afrika. Pengine naenda kung'ang'ana nilete goal.
Athletics Kenya will also conduct national trials on 9th of next month to select a team for World Cross Country Championship.
Currently we are running a program where we are popularizing and encouraging the young athletes and all the people to learn how to save. So the bigger conversation, the message we are driving is the message of saving, the message of investment, and the message of insuring. So that as they run, they should be aware that it is for a specific period. They need to learn how to save, they need to invest.
Jenna Wile for Prime Edition.
Preparations for the 14th edition of the Meru Open Ball Games competition set to be held at the Meru School, Kaga Girls High School and Meru Teachers Training College are at an advanced stage. The tournament themed Promoting Love for Sports will be held this Saturday and Sunday.
With 42 secondary schools from various counties in the country having confirmed their participation in the event, most secondary schools are expected to join the Meru Open tournament, which gets underway this weekend in Meru County. The major objective of the tournament is to prepare teams for the Kenya Secondary School Sports Association Games. Most schools that have participated in the Meru Opens have shown great performance during the secondary schools games competitions.
I'm pleased that the parents should support us in nurturing the talents of the students, because sports help them to be all round. For example, in decision making, in perseverance, you find that when they win or lose, they are different environments. When someone loses and will still fight, even such behavior will be seen in the future life. So as we work on academics, we will also be supported to nurture sports.
The tournament has seen the rise of many teams. Many of the teams that have competed here have ended up proceeding to the nationals and even Eastern Africa competition.
Among the games to be played will be football, hockey, handball, rugby, volleyball, basketball, all for both boys and girls, and netball for girls. Nora Mwangi for Prime Edition.
Swedish professional Lisa Peterson and England's Gabriella Cowley successfully led their team to victory at the 2024 Magical Kenya Ladies Open Pro-Am tournament. The team combined for a score of 32 under to clinch the win at the event held at the picturesque Par 72 PGA Baobab course at Vipingo Ridge in Kilifi County.
In a closely contested event, Patterson and Cowley's team narrowly edged out their closest competitors, the team of Chiara Triambuli, Hay Davis, Trish Boulton, Anis Dopat, and Anu Dot, who finished closely behind with a combined score of 31 under. Taking the third spot was the team led by Spanish pro Marta Sanz Barrio and her French counterpart Agathe Sauzon with a combined score of 28. In individual accolades, Samuel Mwangi and Masi Nyambemba emerged victorious in the near race to the pin challenge in the men's and ladies category respectively, showcasing precision and accuracy in their shots. Following the Pro-Am, all eyes are now set on the main tournament, which got underway today at the Boab course at Vipingo Ridge. A field of 108 golfers are competing for the stake of the converted €300,000 prize fund. Faith Akinyi for Prime Edition.
And those are all the sports stories we had for you tonight. I'm now being joined by my colleague, Carol. Carol, I'm curious to know, the AFCON finals will be held this Saturday and it will be televised live on KBC Channel 1 between Ivory Coast and Nigeria. Which team will you be supporting?
First of all, I am looking forward to the game. And of course, KBC has her plan for you Kenyans to go and watch this live game at Kikau Lounge. And of course, I'm supporting Nigeria.
And I hope after AFCON ends, Kenyans won't leave us alone, because we will still be airing the FKF Premier League. That's all from me, Carol. I'll let you wind it up.
Okay. Karen Kibet, thank you for that sporting update. That's where we put a cap on tonight's Prime Edition. Remember, we've been live on Twitter, on Facebook, and also on YouTube. And you can continue engaging with us on Twitter based on the information and the stories that we have shared with you. My name is Wairimu Njenga. Have a good night.
Get ready.
Penalty.
The AFCON finals are almost here, and KBC is bringing you the ultimate football celebration. Join us at Kikau Lounge on Committee Road for a captivating AFCON finals viewing experience. Catch all the heart-pounding action live on our big screens as KBC brings you exclusive coverage of the AFCON finals.
Well, the referee blows the half-time whistle.
Think you know everything about AFCON? Well, test your knowledge and win exciting prizes.